20 seconds.
Can't hear you. There you are. Good morning, everybody. Howdy. Say howdy back to me, somebody. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Orange Blossom Social. I am your humble correspondent, Bobby Randall, this morning. And with me this morning, is my pal, Chris Cockburn, who you all know is the singer and piano player here in the band. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
How you getting along?
I'm amazing. Having a great day.
Well, I guess by now everybody has received the bad news. I woke up this morning to some terrible news, and I didn't, Facebook, you don't always know what's true on Facebook. And so I checked with, I'm friends with Toby Keith's bass player, and I sent him a text, and it did definitely verify that Toby Keith has passed away. And what a pretty bad loss that is. 62 years old. And as I told you, my wife, who's here with us this morning, will research everything. And so on the way here, we were researching stomach cancer, and I guess he fought that for a long time, for a couple years before it finally got him. But I've known Toby since before he even got his manager. As a matter of fact, T.K. Kimbrell was our road manager for Sawyer Brown. And when he left us, he got in the management business for a little while, and then he grabbed a hold of Toby Keith, and Toby Keith would tell you that most of his success he will attribute to TK, who both are TKs. But anyway, nonetheless, my love goes out to all those guys, to his family, and TK Kimbrell. I love you, pal. All right, good morning, everybody. We are here at the Orange Blossom Social. What an awesome weekend we had this weekend here. Some great shows, wouldn't you say, Chris?
Oh, they were awesome.
Yeah.
Diamond Rio, I think, was my favorite. But
Yep, Diamond Rio was just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And, Marty, they sounded great, played great. We got to spend a lot of time. I think for me, well, you've been here, a couple years?
I've been here a year and 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, it seemed like 50 years working with you. But anyway,
4 weeks.
One of the coolest things for me about the Orange Blossom Opry, and I have this conversation with everybody that comes here, is sooner or later, Chris and I have been in the music business. I've never done anything else. I don't have a day job. I've never done anything but play that guitar. And sooner or later, the people you know and have worked with are going to walk through that back door.
All right.
I've seen you running across a couple of your old buddies with Gene Watson.
Yeah, they're all from Texas. Chad Phillips is his road manager and was probably my best friend for the better part of 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, that's not what he said about you, but no.
I'm sure.
I'm going to beat on Chris all day because I love him. He knows I love him.
I know.
And, well, I got to see Olander in Diamond Rio.
Amazing.
Yeah. I knew Jimmy way before Diamond Rio. All those guys, they had a band called the Tennessee River Boys. That was the name of their band. And they played out at Opryland, which used to be a big theme park there in Nashville for years. And Jimmy was a banjo player. He really wasn't much of a guitar player. He was more known as being a banjo player. And
Do you know who their lead singer was?
yeah, I was just going to tell you.
Okay.
Here's a little trivia. So the band was called the Tennessee River Boys, and they played in a theme park. Now, the theme park, I don't know, any of y'all ever go to Opryland or remember Opryland? Mm-hmm. It was a big theme park there in Nashville. It had music. It was awesome. It was like Dollywood, but bigger because they had huge rides. Anyway, some clown decided to close it down and open up, make it a shopping mall. But nonetheless, so this band was playing. Well, they were trying to get a record deal, and what they did is they changed their name, they changed their lead singer, and they became Diamond Rio. But their lead singer before Diamond Rio was, going once, anybody?
No.
Oh, Eddie?
I'll take a guess. I'm going to say Ricky Skaggs.
Absolutely wrong. No, but close. Yeah, real close.
Close?
It was Earl Scruggs. No, it was your former employer.
It was Ty Herndon.
Wow.
Yep, Ty, right there.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, Ty Herndon was the lead singer in that band out there, and then they, as you know, his career went off, and he had his own thing. And so tell me about this. Let's talk about this. You worked for Ty Herndon. How long did you work for him?
I toured. I started with him through the Steam album back in '90. I guess the later part of '99, probably early part of 2000, and we rolled that out. And I took about a year break after that, but on and off for 20 years I worked for Ty.
Wow, well, first of all, what a wonderful singer Ty Herndon is. The guy, a little trivia, how far back I go with Ty. I was in a little band called Sawyer Brown, as you all know. In 1984, we won Star Search, and we won the vocal group. And in 1985, Ty won the male vocalist on Star Search. And I've been knowing him a long time. And never take out all the artist fact, all the music, take all that away, and just look at Ty Herndon as he's probably one of the most wonderful human beings you would ever want to meet. Is he not? Would you not say that?
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
Right.
Great
I
guy.
mean, well, look at all he put up with you. He goes silent.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
No, but he's a wonderful human being, and
Awesome.
usually comes here to the Orange Blossom Opry once or twice a year, and we'll look forward to see if we can. They're right now lining up the people. Here's the thing we ought to do, folks. Some of you folks in the audience, or some of you folks listening, we do in the summer. We do this thing called Summer Series, and what we do is usually do it for 10 weeks and bring in 10 different artists. And the trick is they have to be artists because it's in the summer where they will come and play with our band. And so what usually works out is it ends up being buddies, friends of ours that know us and say, oh, yeah, I'll come and work with those guys. So if you got some ideas, some people you want to hear this summer, they're right now working on it. Just don't be stupid and say, Keith Urban, because,
George Strait.
Yeah, George Strait.
That's what I want.
George Strait. I have a buddy. Every year, as you know, I go on a motorcycle trip. And I go every July. I've been doing it for I don't even know how long. I've been riding motorcycles out west for 40 years, maybe more than that. And anyway, and he went with me last year. He's going to go with us this year. And he calls me up and says, hey, man, I got tickets for George Strait, which I don't know if I'd want to go see George Strait. I guess I would. He's awesome. I used to know, I still know a couple guys in his band. But he booked it right in the middle of our trip. I said, well, I'm trying to plan my trip around this dude that wants to go see George Strait. Have you seen George Strait?
Oh yeah, we toured with George Strait back in
Oh, you've got a jacket, don't you?
'89. Yeah, I got the tour jacket and everything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would.
'89. I was with the artist name. That was the first artist I worked for. His name was Shane Stockton. Really, he was one of my best friends growing up. But he signed with Decca back in that time where, labels were starting these little labels and
yeah.
they caught a bunch of flack from it. They had to shut them down. But yeah, we were on the Strait tour in '89.
How much you reckon that jacket's worth? Because if it's $1,000, I'll stab you in your sleep.
No,
I
it's
will.
probably not.
It's not worth that much.
It smells like me now. It's probably not worth anything.
Right. Here's the other thing I wanted to tell you that I would just draw to your attention. I'm a real grammar buff. Every friend that you've referred to, Chad and that guy, you use the term was. Have these people thrown you to the dogs because they no longer are friends? Is that the deal?
No, you move on.
Grammar buff. I do this every time, folks. When people on the phone, you'll have fun with this. Every time I do it. I don't care if it's the doctor, the governor, or who it is, but how many times are people on the phone, especially doctors, you're taking down your number or something, and they go, now what was your name? Well, my name used to be, it's terrible grammar. It's what is your name, not what was your name. My name's always the same. Speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, the star of the Orange Blossom Social is here with us this morning. Look how dapper he's looking over there. Good morning, Eddie.
Real dapper.
Yeah, you got your Orange Blossom Opry jacket on. Got your green golf shirt, whatever. Oh, he is Orange Blossom Opry to the max.
To the bone.
To the bone he is. Good morning. How you doing,
Good
sir?
morning. I'm doing good.
You had a
Doing
good weekend? You were very busy this weekend.
Yeah.
Eddie, as you all know, does. Eddie is the light man for the Orange Blossom Opry, and quite almost all the acts. Rarely do they bring a light guy. Some guys do, but most of the time they all rely on Eddie, and he gets a few days before, like the rest of us, what's called a rider, and it has all this stuff and all these things that have to keep him busy up there. Did Rio bring a guy, or did you? Oh, Rio brought their own guy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some guys bring their own guys, other guys don't. But so when they bring their own guy, what do? You sit up there and smoke cigarettes with the boss?
No, I run a follow spot when Marty was running around.
Oh,
and the guitarist, every time he'd come down, every song seemed to be that he came out and did a lead. So you
Jimmy.
had to be in the spotlight for that lead.
Yeah,
And
well,
then-
those guys are a band, and the coolest thing about it is they kind of feature everyone, sort of what I like to do, as opposed to a band that's where there's a one man that hogs up the whole show. So they feature all the guys in their band, and Jimmy Olander. I don't know if you guys, I'll get off in the weeds, but he's probably one of the most. Would it be innovative? Is that the correct word?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Not only is he a great guitar player, but he's got all these tricks that he does. He has benders hooked up in his guitar. I have a bender in one of mine, which goes around the strap, hooks on here, and if I push down on my guitar, it'll raise my B string, which is second from the bottom string, to a whole tone, and I can push it half tone. Then he has another one that goes around his back and hooks into his waist. It's called a hip shot, kind of. It's not called a hip shot, but it goes around, and he pushes his guitar forward, and it raises another string. So if you ever see Diamond Rio play, and you're seeing his guitar player doing all this stuff, and it's all mechanics that he does, and if you listen to some of those records, and you try to learn those records without that mechanism on your guitar, you're going to be
He sure makes it look easy when you watch him.
Yeah.
It was just like unbelievable.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. And did you get your picture made with Diamond Rio?
No, I've through the years I've worked with him a bunch of times, so I've got everybody but Dana. I can never catch Dana.
Yeah, well, I was talking to
everybody but Dana. Dana kind of just hides in
Well,
the
he
corner
doesn't.
somewhere.
He doesn't like you, Eddie. That's
That's
what he
probably
said.
it,
He
yeah.
said, he said, "Can
Yeah.
you have that light guy thrown out of here?" I
Keeps
said,
shining it in my eyes.
"I keep shining." He keeps shining that light in my eyes. I can't stand it. All right. Well, you always have an album for us. Your favorite show
Of course, is my favorite of all time.
All
because
time.
This guy was so awesome. He came here. This picture is probably this is B.J. Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
And a little story with B.J. I got a bunch of stories with him, but this is one of my favorite. This is the album that had "Done Somebody Wrong" song on it. His big hit.
Whoa.
And he told me on a picture of this. He's sitting on a car, and he had told me, he says, if you look real close to my face, they blurred my face out because I was so drunk I couldn't stay on the car. But he says, yeah, he was real cute, super nice guy.
A lot like
BJ.
you on the weekends. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Not
yeah,
anymore.
awesome. Great.
B.J. Thomas.
Yeah, B.J. Thomas. This is a special one. He's
Great man. I only
Yeah.
worked with BJ. I was out on the Kenny Rogers tour. We started in 1984, and really heavy in '85.
I was 14.
So was I. And 84, 85, 86, and 87 was like solid Kenny Rogers. And he'd work 2 weeks on, take 2 weeks off. And then our band would be out there. So he had Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, and then there was another act, and then there was us, Sawyer Brown guys. And BJ was out a couple times and came out. And this was when he was still making records.
Oh, wow.
And the first thing I remember when I met him was I hated him because he had this awesome hair. Is his hair long on that
yeah.
picture? I can't see.
Oh, yeah.
He had hair
yeah,
that was
yeah.
like, can you see it on there?
Yeah.
It's short there. His hair was like this, down to here, was
Yeah.
just all puffed. And I kept trying to do that. I could never do that. My hair generally looks like this. So anyway, but this morning before I came here, my wife got me up early, of course, made breakfast for me as always, massaged my back, and that didn't happen, and did my hair for me. So I could blame all this. Well, let's talk about if we have any questions. I can't see Facebook this morning, so can you watch that, Eddie? If they got some pictures, or do you? Apostle Paul's not here today, but Captain Kurt's here, and our boss Heather is here, and we're always glad to have them. Of course, Heather more than Captain Kurt, but. If we get a question or something, you could send it up, or Eddie, or send it, because my phone is a pain in the butt. What I'd like to do, though, while we're working on that, is talk about a couple shows that are coming up. Eddie, do you know that on February, holy crap, that's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
February 14th.
It is. It sure is.
That's Valentine's Day, right? That generally means buy something nice for your wife, right? Okay. All right, honey, I sure love you. Are you working on the 14th, Tuesday? You are?
a trip to Walgreens.
Oh, yeah. My wife's a pharmacist, but not at Walgreens. I never realized how complicated my wife's job is. She's much, much smarter than I am. She's a pharmacist most of the time at the emergency room in the villages. So if you all end up there, as a matter of fact, she said one time she was working in there, guy's laying on, what do you call that, a gurney? Or whatever he's laying on something in there, in the emergency room, sheet and all that stuff, and peeks up out of there when she went by, and the guy goes, are you Bobby Randall's wife? So she said no. Anyway, denied it. Valentine's Day, February 14th, which is next week, we have a band, the Carpenters Reimagined. Imagined. Yeah, that's a big word for me. Were you here for those guys last year?
I wasn't.
They were. Helen is the girl that plays Karen Carpenter, I guess that was her name, and they're awesome. They have the music down. If you're a Carpenters fan, which I was, Rainy Days and Mondays always get me down. You remember that song, Eddie?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where were you then?
Probably riding bicycle before driving age, I think.
Before driving age.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were when
I
that
probably
song
had the
came?
45.
Rainy Days and Mondays. I can tell you where
I wasn't anywhere near driving age.
I was in basic training in the United States Army at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Because
wow.
yeah, we played that song, and I can remember those songs. It came out right about at the same time. Ringo Starr's "It Don't Come Easy," because we'd go to the little bar there and we'd put quarters in the jukebox, and those were the songs we'd play. Nonetheless, we have two shows that day, 2:30 and 7 o'clock. And if you're a lady, now you must be. It says lady, I presume woman these days. What the hell is with that?
I knew we were going on to that.
Yeah, yeah. To me, if you notice out front in the Orange Blossom Opry here, we have two bathrooms, the men and the women. And the decision is yours to make. There's nobody there that's really checking gender. But here at the Orange Blossom Opry, if you are a woman, lady, you will receive a rose, a free rose for the show. So you come in, guys, bring your wife to the show, because you sneak in here, you get to see the Carpenters, which are awesome. You get a free rose, you're off the hook. And of course, I'll be standing by to take any of the extra ones home to my wife and go, honey, look what I got for you. But they're beautiful roses too. They're not those little stubby things. There's those great big old long rascals. So that's on, well, it's on Valentine's Day, which I believe is February 14th, correct?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. So you want to be sure and check out that show because they were awesome. There might be a few tickets left for that. Not sure, but that's something coming up. Do you have anybody favorite that you're still looking? You know, Ricky Skaggs will be here this weekend, y'all. Have you ever seen Ricky Skaggs?
Yeah.
He's. Would you not say he's probably in bluegrass? He's the new Earl Scruggs or the new Bill Monroe.
Probably. I'm really looking forward to Rhonda Vincent again.
Rhonda Vincent. Yes.
Probably my favorite bluegrass artist.
Rhonda, I hope you're watching.
Bobby.
Yes.
Hey, we got one from Anna Lee. Can
You have to
ever
speak up
see-
because you're not in my phones.
Oh, well, we
Or
can
if you
fix
could
that
get in
too.
my phone so I could hear you.
Let's do
We have a question. We'll get back to Rhonda Vincent.
Yeah.
It's from Anna Lee. Can you ever sing Sawyer Brown songs like Betty's Being Bad?
You know, I get asked that all the time. And in our show, we play I do a couple of Confederate Railroad songs. I was in that band for 7 years. You know, I don't know why I don't. I get asked that a lot. We worked up the races on a little bit. I used to play 6 days on the road, and I played on all those records. I played guitar on all of those records on the first 10 albums. If you go back and listen to that, I guess I could apologize now because some of it's kind of out there, but it's all me giving you my heart and soul at it. But you know, I guess we probably could. I don't know why we don't, but we could. Anyway, back to Rhonda Vincent. She will be here. I don't know when. Can you look through the thing here and see when she is? Rhonda.
It's in March.
Yeah, March. We'll look up that. Rhonda Vincent. Let me tell you about old Rhonda Vincent. We'll call her. I've been friends with her for a long time, and her brother, way before long time family. March 2nd. Yeah. So Rhonda Vincent is a little bit of a prankster, y'all. Yeah. And she, the first time she got me, we were in Canada, and I was playing with Confederate Railroad, and it was our band and her, which is a strange combination for a show because she's about as bluegrass and country as they get, and Confederate Railroad, not so much. But we do Trashy Women, and all of a sudden this girl in this red dress looking like a drunk crazy woman from Upper Michigan. Had this red dress on and this wig and hair all over the place and high heels and lipstick all over the place, and comes out just dancing crazy on the stage, and like security was going to grab her and everything, and it was Rhonda Vincent. So she's she, not last year, but her fiddle player, Hunter, is like a world-class fiddle player, like plays fiddle like crazy, like insane. And so I stayed to watch her show. I sat right down there. And so right in the middle of her show, she goes, "Hey, Bobby, go get your fiddle." And I'm going, No, go get your fiddle. And if you don't know her very well, she'll just stop the show until she gets her way. You know, she's going to do what she wants to do. And I said, "There's no way. I'm not going up there to play fiddle with that guy. That's suicide. I'm not doing that." Well, anyway, I had to go get my fiddle and had to go play, but she was kind. She made us play Faded Love, so it was pretty easy. Anyway, we'll look forward to seeing her. Last year when she was here, she was the last person to leave. When I left, she was out sweeping off the floor, remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
She stayed and swept the floors and cleaned up everything. Anyway, she's awesome. You know, I just saw, and I think she's been married 35 years to the same guy. Yeah,
the
awesome.
same guy?
Yeah, awesome. She's an
Wow.
awesome.
Wonder how he did that.
Awesome woman. No, they're great.
Yeah, they are.
Great deal. Okay, so you're looking forward to them. Anybody else you're looking forward to?
Real quick, why don't you say hi to our buddy Heath Wright? I know he's on.
Is Heath Wright watching?
I think so. He said he was going to.
You know, so we changed guitar players. As you all know, we had our guitar player unexpectedly took an exit. And I got a text from Heath who said, "You know, if I didn't have all this other stuff going, I'd come take that gig." Because Heath's one of the guys I'm trying to put on, we're trying to get on the summer series. For those of you who may not know, Heath Wright's the lead singer and lead guitar player and founder of the band Ricochet. And now, you played with those guys for a while?
I did about a year, I think.
Yeah, is Heath not an awesome guy?
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Funny.
Go ahead.
He knows every Haggard song. He probably knows more than we do. But actually, he's the reason that I'm here, if you remember.
Yep, and so when our piano player unexpectedly took out the door, I had to.
I'm seeing a trend.
Yeah, seeing a trend here. Yeah, well, the new. Yeah, so the next week come here, there'll be a new guy sitting here and go, "Well, when Bobby took it." Anyway, but anyway.
It's Heather.
It's hard to. Yeah, she's so pretty. Anyway, no, and that's not my new one. I'm not doing that now. What am I doing now? I'm doing. Oh, hey, would you get that little girl? Some guy called our boss the little girl the other day. Said, "Hey, go over there. Who's that? Go get that little girl." Said that little girl's the owner and signs the checks. You might want to think that one over. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so it's really hard, y'all, to find musicians to play at the caliber that I need to play in this band. And it's one of the difficult things is you have to be able to read. And so many musicians can't. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody because it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that we hold our musicians to a different standard. Plus, you have to learn so many songs here. Obviously not much of a standard, as you can see, but somewhat of a standard. Anyway, we learn so many songs. You have to learn so many songs, and you have to, there's no way you can do it unless you can read. You just can't. So everybody that I call, you know, that's my first question. Can you read? No. What? So you're out. So to find that, and then to find someone that's schooled in country music. One of the things I learned is a lot of people, probably not y'all, but a lot of folks, younger folks, look at country music as a step down. You know, these rock people or country people, they think that they're the almighty. And, country. Yeah, country's down here. You know, I could play country. It's like cleaning the toilet or something. Anybody can do that. And that's not true. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. In fact, to play country music and to play it correctly might be more difficult than all of that, than playing 100 miles an hour with a fan blowing in your hair. So it's difficult. Anyway, so I have to, when somebody leaves this band, I end up reaching out nationally trying to find somebody and you have to move to Florida. So first person I called was T.G. Shepherd. I've been friends with that rascal for a long time. And I called people who I knew had piano players in their band that sang. And I called him, and I called somebody else who told me to call Heath Wright. I can't remember. But somebody told me to call Heath, the Ricochet guy that we're talking about. And And Heath told me, now I remember, I called Heath. Either Heath told me to call Ty Herndon or Ty Herndon told me to call Heath. I can't remember how it went because it's early in the morning. It's my first cup of coffee. But anyway, because of Heath Wright and Ty Herndon, that's how this young man got here, through their recommendation. I remember my wife and I, remember we sat at the house looking at videos of Chris sing, remember? And before he came, we were looking at him. You do remember? You do remember? Because you were saying he's not all that good. And I said, no, I don't think so either, but he might work. Anyway, you came and stayed at our house.
I did.
For a while. Right?
It was Thanksgiving weekend last year.
Yeah. So
Well, not this past year, in 2022.
All right. So there's how that happened. And then kind of because of Chris, when our guitar player left, the same story. You know, I start calling guys. Everybody I know, Wade, everybody I know that plays on a national level, because I know if someone's playing with those people, they can read because that just goes without saying. So I called a couple different people, and I don't know if Dave applied through the ad I put out in Nashville, or through you, or if you recommended him, or how that happened.
Well, he reached out to me when he found out we were looking for somebody.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. Okay.
He was like, remember me?
Yeah, so Dave and Chris were actual friends. And we went through a couple of other guys, and they were good. They were really good. Really good. The first guy was a really cool singer. But he was another guy that kind of looked at country as well. I can learn that. I got that. And again, it's, not really. You can't really learn that. So I don't know. And the second guy, we almost went for the second guy because he was a flash. He was awesome. He played a lot of stuff and he was awesome really well.
Good chicken picker.
Yeah, a good chicken picker. Could just play like, fire. But then, and then even Chris said, I think this is going to be our guy. This is going to be our guy. So Dave showed up. The first day he got here, he borrowed my car. Still don't have it back. Had my car every day since he's been here. As a matter of fact, I may go look at a new car today because I don't know if Dave's ever going to bring my car back. But nonetheless,
he probably sold it.
He probably sold it. But nonetheless, Dave has just really stepped up.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. The boss even said yesterday to me, he said, Dave brought a whole lot more to the party than what we thought. Because he's he's on stage. I want these guys to look like, when you're on stage, look like you're having fun. And I don't want you to fake it. If you're not having fun, go do something else, because that's what this is all about, supposedly. It's a rough job. You can ask Chris. It's not for the faint of heart. There's so many songs. Well, you got to work for me, first of all. That's the bad news. But I don't think I'm that tough to work on, am I?
You're awesome.
No, that's a lie. I don't think awesome's a stretch, but somebody has to be the leader, I guess, and I got stuck with the job. But it's I don't know how I want to say this. Everybody kind of holds everybody in this band to a higher level. We all expect each other to stay in your lane and do your job and do it well. And the only thing is to learn these songs, learn them just like the record. That's what our band is. That's how our band differs from every other band you go hear. And every band, even as a kid, I go listen to bands and there's two guitar players and this guy has no idea what that guy's doing, and they're both up there slamming away, and that's what your band sounds like. And our band doesn't sound like that because everybody just listen to the record and play what's on the record, and then you folks, we don't have the original singer, but then the music sounds just like the record, and that's, I think, something that separates us a little bit from those guys. All right, would you say that, Eddie?
Yes, it's hard to keep your eyes off of, especially Randy and Dave. They're just so exciting to watch. Yeah. They added a whole new excitement to this band, and awesome players. Yeah,
yesterday, we're all into each other on the stage, kind of looking at each other, and we were in the middle of playing Look at Us, and he didn't say awesome, because I say that too. Randy was back there playing, and it's Look at Us, just that slow groove, and he just looks up at me, and he just went, amazing. Went back to playing. Yeah. So Randy's also, our drummer, has been a tremendous attribute.
Oh.
Great drummer.
He's so much fun to watch. You just watch. We see him from back there, and it's just, he's smiling the whole time.
And surprisingly, here's Randy came to me, and I didn't know Randy before he came here. And it was probably the second day or something that I met him, and he said that his father-in-law had passed away, and he'd written this piece of music that was going to play at the funeral, and wanted me to play guitar on it. And I said, well, shoot, yeah, Randy, but you know, he must know 1,000 guitar players around here. But I did. So I went over, we went over to the studio, and I think I ended up playing 3 or 4 guitar passes on this thing. Did you play on it? Mm-hmm. You didn't? Anyway, well, he plays keyboard, so he might have. Anyway, I played like 4 guitars on it, 4 different guitar passes on it, and that was it. And so he kept telling me, man, Bobby, this is awesome. It's awesome. Thanks. I said, of course. Well, anyway, he plays it for me. He said, I want to play this for you. And it was powerful. It was awesome. But what I noticed when I was listening to it, I went, why? Because I said, who's singing? He said, me. I said, who's singing all those background parts? He said, me. And I went, whoa. Yeah. And he sings, his voice has the texture a little bit of Henry Paul. Any of you folks know who Henry Paul is? Going once, going twice. Oh, there's a couple. He's the lead singer for a band called Black Hawk. So now we're adding some Black Hawk songs to the show because Randy can sound almost like him. Would you say that, Eddie?
Yeah, I knew Randy and I were going to be friends when he had told me he played a drum mix on a Quiet Riot album, and I had worked with Quiet Riot in the 80s. I'm going, oh, this guy's for real.
Yeah, he's played on some amazing things. And I guess if you go to Disney, you know, there's Randy. I wish I knew more, but I don't. But I guess he's playing on some of those shows on the tracks that you go play. Somebody said that it's him playing in the haunted house or something like that. I don't know. So he was
one of those rides.
Yeah, he hasn't took the route we did, but he's a very accomplished musician and still plays a lot of commercials, jingles, and he's very very talented man.
But you know, if you don't mind me saying, the thing about this new lineup is just the chemistry I mean, you've been on the road before, so you know as well as anybody that the hang on the bus or backstage is 90% of it, and it shows. You know, when we find that pocket now, it shows on stage that the chemistry that we have, and it's just like at one point you were looking at me last night, I was looking down. I just get so lost in like what we have now. It
is awesome.
It's a really good band now.
It's almost like a whole burden had been lifted off. You know, there was so much work, like the Christmas shows. No, for sure, Bob. But you're
Ask
right.
My
Everybody
wife.
gets along. They're having. You can tell. The audience can tell. They can feed it.
Well, it's, you know, as the leader, I guess, or whatever I am, you know, my job is to make sure that the music is awesome for you folks in the seats out there. And if I'm up there constantly, which I was, worried about what this guy's doing and what that guy's doing and this guy's not doing, is supposed to be doing, and shoot. And believe it or not, I end up sitting up here and working as a record producer as I'm playing, because I'm listening to everybody to make sure, you know, I'm just not up there listening to myself, which was one of the problems we had, was that some of the guys were not gelling together, playing together. And then their personalities got a little sideways in the back. What I've noticed in the back, which, like Chris said, the hang is important, because you know, we're only on stage for whatever, on an hour, but you got to get on a tour bus and ride, you know, 15 hours to the next gig. You got to get along with people. And same goes with us, because we spend all day together. You go back there now, you can't even hear yourself think, because it's people just loud, yelling, talking, and just laughing and yucking it up, and just, it's just you can't, like I said, you can't hear yourself. Poor Chris, our cook, probably going crazy. But speaking of cooks, our old cook was here. Did you know Nancy? Yeah, she was here yesterday. She came to see Gene Watson.
Oh, wow.
Yep. She hated me. So
can't imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Wayne Terry wants to know if the next time you guys do an acoustic set, if you guys can play Seven Bridges Road.
Boy, Wayne. You know, I've been. I
love that dude.
Yep, I've been pushing. I've been pushing to work that song up. It takes the right combination of singers to do that, and I believe now we have the right combination. It takes a strong tenor. Chris and I are both kind of baritone singers, I guess you would say, but Keith is the tenor singer. So I think we have the, my boss is over here going, finally, finally. My boss has been on my tail to do Seven Bridges Road. So the answer to that is maybe not the next time, but coming soon to the Orange Blossom Opry, I promise, Seven Bridges Road. This week, we're going to work on Love Will Keep Us Alive. Love Will Keep Us Alive, the Eagles song, which we should be able to add, which again takes a strong tenor that we now have. We lost Kevin, who was our tenor, but we have Keith Horn back now. So in answer to your question, yes, sir, we will. Let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about, we'll talk about the Vogues for a little bit. I talked to that guy yesterday, and I wasn't, I didn't know a lot about the Vogues. They're a little bit before my time. You probably remember them. They were popular back in the 50s. The Vogues will be here on February 17th, and you folks that are remember those guys, they had a big song called You Are My Special Angel, 5 o'clock around the world. And so that kind of music's fun. And that guy was, I don't know why he was on me about it, but he said, well, we don't play the tracks. We all sing live. I said, well, everybody sings live here. That's one of the things at the Orange Blossom Opry. If you come to the Orange Blossom Opry, it's live music, and it's not that stuff. But they will be here on February 17th with 2 shows at 2:30 and 7. It's kind of that older, you know, back then they were called rock and roll. That's not really rock and roll now.
Almost doo-wop, real great harmony, like the Letterman.
Yeah. I loved Letterman. I miss him. They're not that Letterman?
Wrong
What?
one. Wrong Letterman.
Oh, wrong Letterman?
Yeah.
Okay, the Letterman, the band.
We had worked with the Vogues. I worked with a doo-wop band called Fretting the Flashbacks in the early 80s, and the Vogues were from Pittsburgh, around that area, and they were very well known in that area.
Oh, they're a big
Pennsylvania.
name.
Yeah.
I've heard that. We've had the Letterman here before too, right? Mm-hmm. We did.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, they're awesome. Okay, then let's move along to I'm really excited about this show, y'all. On February 18th, we have William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys. And, man, first of all, I think he's not Bill, William, is, I think he's about 83, somewhere in there, 84. He's still singing. Unbelievable. And he is, at one time they said he's the most recognizable face in country music. Probably is. And he's playing with his sons, Rusty and Chris. And they got this little thing, just a family band going. I've always said, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for 43 years. And I always said that the closest thing I had to family in Nashville was the Goldens. I hung at their house and just played in bands with both Rusty and Chris. And Chris Golden is an awesome singer. I tried to get him to come down here.
Yeah, I remember.
I was trying to get him when we were talking about piano players. And he called me the other day and asked if you were still here. And I said, yeah. And I said, but if you want to come, I'll fire his butt. But he's not coming. He's got his own thing going. But it's a great show. They've done a bunch of old songs. I wish I could remember that guy's name. I can't remember. What's their bass player singer's name? Heather, somebody will help me with that. I can't remember his name.
The bass singer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember. He just retired.
She said his name is Aaron.
Aaron, yeah, it's not Aaron Rodgers, but his first name, Aaron is his name. So he's their bass singer. And he first came here, I first saw him with Jamie.
Daly and Vincent, yeah.
Yeah, Rhonda's brother, those guys. And I thought, whoa, because that's a gift, man. And I mean, when this guy can sing and just rumble the building, and he's out with the Goldens playing with him, so he'll be here. And not to bore you with this, but I decided to move to Nashville, and in 1978, I went down there, and there was this bar that was a rat hole that you would never go to that now is in downtown Nashville is rocking, but back then it was the ghetto. But I went down there to hear this pedal steel player, and there was one other guy in the bar. And I looked over at him and said, hi. And I said, my name's Bobby. He said, my name's Steve. He said, yeah. He said, I just moved here. I got a job with George Jones. I said, awesome. And his name's Steve Henson. And I have been best buddies with him ever since then. And he's in their band. So I get to see Steve and bunch of old people. You'll know some of the guys in that band, I'm sure, as they get here. So that's on February 18th at 2:30 and 7. Check out some tickets for that, y'all, because that'll be a show worth seeing. And it's like I told you, no offense, but William's getting up there, so you might want to check that show out. It'll be great. He's
And I think that's going to be one of them that everybody's going to be talking about. I really believe out of all the
think so,
shows,
too.
they're going to be really
Oh
surprised.
yeah, yeah. Well, I can tell you this: they have an awesome band. Their bass player is Larry Mars, and Larry Mars, of course, if you all don't know, was Marty Stewart's bass player before Paul. But he played on all his records. So Larry played and sang harmony on all those Marty Stewart records back in the day. So Larry's playing bass with them. Of course, Rusty Golden on piano. Rusty Golden and I played in a couple of different bands together. I can't remember what it was about. But out of all of the people that I know in this world that have made me laugh, and it's hard to make me laugh because my mom was a comedian, so you got to be funny. Stupid is not funny. Funny is funny, but stupid is not funny. Rusty Golden made me laugh so hard in the Salt Lake City airport one time that I can't even remember what it was about. But anyway, funny boy, he will be here. William, Chris, the whole gang on February 18th. Let's see, another show we have coming up, Twitty and Lynn.
Yeah.
Twitty and Lynn. Of course, Twitty is Twitty. You know who Twitty is? You know who Trey Twitty is? Where he is in the mix?
I would
That's
assume
him.
that he
Handsome
is
rascal.
probably kin to Conway Twitty.
Yeah, he is kin to Conway Twitty. He's Conway
guessing.
Twitty was his grandfather. So
Oh,
he is
wow.
the grandson of Conway Twitty, and then the Lynn girl. I don't know her first name because I don't know her. I know Trey.
Somebody
What's her
over there
name,
did.
Eddie? Do you know?
No.
Taylor Swift? No,
Taylor Lynn.
it's not
Taylor.
Taylor.
Taylor Lynn.
Is it Taylor?
Taylor.
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 What the hell?
That's a
Taylor?
birdie.
Okay, Taylor Lynn. Taylor Lynn will be here. Of course, she is the granddaughter of
Loretta Lynn.
of course.
Yeah.
Right. Now, so it's Conway Twitty,
looking.
Loretta Lynn.
Yep.
Do you know if Conway would have married Kitty Wells, she'd have been Kitty Twitty.
Kitty Twitty.
And their grandson would have been itty bitty Kitty Twitty. I made that up. All right,
quick.
that's some of the things. Yeah, I'm quick, I'm fast on my feet. Also, we have the amazing Riders in the Sky coming on March 1st. I moved to Nashville in late 1977, and there was this place called the Wind in the Willows that was down there on West End. Nashville looked nothing at all like it does today. The whole town was different. It would be, Nashville was, I can't think of another town, maybe like Birmingham, Alabama, town like that. Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was not a huge monstrosity. Anyway, there was this place called the Wind in the Willows, and Riders in the Sky played down there on Wednesday nights. And I don't know, it cost a couple bucks to get in. But I used to go down and listen to those guys play back before they got things rolling. And then Doug Green, who's Ranger Doug, the main guy, he and I were on a softball team. And we played softball together for many years. It's some pretty serious, pretty competitive, that rascal is, let me say that.
Really?
Yeah. It's back in his day was a good ball player. You know who was a good ball player? T. Graham Brown.
Was he really?
Yeah, we used to, we traveled together, and back in our day, we would call radio stations and say, we're going to be in town early in the morning, because we get to town in them early, set up a softball game somewhere locally at 10 o'clock in the morning, and, do whatever you want to do, charge money, do whatever you want, take all the money and give it to a local charity, whatever your charity is, but, show up with a softball team. Mm-hmm. But don't show up with a bunch of hacks because we're going to play softball. It was really competitive. And those guys would show up with all their, A-team softball players in town. And it was, to the bone. And T. Graham played with us because we toured with him. And we started hiring our crew, guys that would load the trucks and stuff like that. That was the first question on the thing, can you play softball? And what position? And then, then you can, after that, you can be a stage guy, I guess. But any questions from the audience? You'll have to get something. Yes, ma'am? I won't be able to hear, so because I have these phones on. Go.
Do you ever play any of the songs that you wrote or recorded, like
No, he's got a hard wire.
Did I what?
Record,
The Ride.
Do we ever play any of the songs you wrote?
Oh,
Like
gosh.
The Ride.
You know, I did this. The answer, I guess, is no. I should. I get asked for that all the time. I've played on a gazillion records. I played on all those Sawyer Brown records. I played on other people's records. I played on Confederate Railroad record. Confederate Railroad record was the exception to the rule, but I'd never put an album out where I sang. So if you go back and listen to those Sawyer Brown records, I'm singing on every one of them, but I'm a harmony singer. I never sang lead on anything. I wrote some of the songs for Sawyer Brown, and but I sang on all the records. Mark, Hobie, and I sang on all the records. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, you know, I'm not really, I can sing, but I'm not a singer, if that makes sense to you. I look at people, Chris is a singer. I can sing, but I'm not a singer. And I could explain that to you in depth, but I don't want to get off in the weeds on that. But I can sing. And so I wanted to do a CD. So I did my own CD, and I wrote all the songs on there. I did play an instrumental on there, and I played a song dedicated to a buddy of mine that was killed on a motorcycle. And I put it out, and that song, The Ride, they put it out as a record. That's been a few years back, but it actually got a bunch of airplay and played around on some smaller radio stations around the country. But I never followed it up because I didn't really want to do that. You know, my thing was never wanting to be the main singer guy. So, but I get a lot of requests for it and a lot of requests for that song. So you can get the CD though out there in the. Did you get one? Let me see if you go get the CD. You can play it in your car over and over and over, and I sound amazing there. So
I came across that song on, I guess it was YouTube not too long ago. It was actually a good song. It
thanks.
sounded really good on it.
I'm a motorcycle guy. I don't have any tattoos or body piercings. I bought my first Harley in 1974, and I've been, yeah. How old were you then? You were in your 20s then.
I was born in
Well,
70.
Yeah, well, me too. I was only 4. But I bought my first Harley then, and I've had Harleys ever since then. And I'm a Harley guy. I ride, motorcycle, and that's kind of my thing. For what do I do to relax? I ride motorcycles. And so I wrote a song kind of about riding, about motorcycle, ride motorcycle. And my very first girlfriend, who was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. And so that's kind of what that song's about. Motorcycles ride, that's what the song The Ride's about. Every song's about something, and that's what that's about. Anyway, but thank you for the request. Maybe we'll do it. The reason I don't do, and we don't do many original songs here, is I find that the public, it's hard to play songs that you've not heard. Right. And I say that to artists that come here, like Wade Hayes, any of those people that come that have had 1 or 2 records. Drifting back to the Sawyer Brown days, when we went out with Kenny Rogers, we had 1 record out. It's called Leona. And I said, okay, now we have to go out, and when we first started, we only played 25 minutes, 30 minutes at it. And so what are we going to play for 20,000 people that's going to keep their attention? Well, did we play a couple of more songs on our record that they never heard? And we didn't do that. We went back and played songs that were cover songs that we'd worked up funny, different things, because I find it difficult to keep people's attention. Well, here's a song I wrote, and here's another song I wrote, and then you're playing songs that nobody knows, and unless you're at the Bluebird, where that's the sort of thing you do. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. Thank you for the request, though. I appreciate it. Anything else?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Trebor Hedge.
Is it Trevor?
No, Trebor. There's a B in there. Wants to know if you find more relaxing playing or riding the bike.
Well, riding my motorcycle is my thing. I enjoy music at this stage of the game where I am at my age. If I didn't enjoy this job, I wouldn't be here. I don't have to do this. I don't know what else I'd be doing. But I suppose as long as I'm sucking air, I'm going to be playing music, doing something. People ask me, well, what do you do for your time off? Well, I ride motorcycle. My golf game sucks. I'm too old to play sports anymore. I beat up my body doing that. So my time off, we're going to ride motorcycle tomorrow. If anybody wants to go, be here at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to ride, just go for a little putt. So ride motorcycle is my relaxing time. I'm going to ride out west this summer. For some reason, y'all, my lovely wife is here, Sandra, this morning. I call her Girly. But she's here, and folks, maybe you can help me figure this out. But we're going to go on a motorcycle trip as we did last summer. She went with me last year and the year before. But I can't get her to ride from here, like out across Kansas. You know, it's 102 out there in the desert, riding across the interstate. She insists that I pick her up in Denver. So I can't. I don't know. Maybe y'all can talk her into that. But she goes, I don't know how you can do that. But for me, yeah, it's kind of okay. You know, I don't mind. It's my deal. Just out there in the wind. I've got a motorcycle that has one of my motorcycles has an amazing sound system on it. Speakers everywhere. I've never once turned it on. So that's what I do. I don't listen to music. I just ride along. Thanks for your question. Another one?
Yes, from Sherry Young, and she didn't specify who it's to, so it's for everybody.
Everybody.
Is there a place that you haven't played that you want to?
Yes.
Place I have. How about you? You go first.
I never got to, I've played the Opry many times. I've never got to play on the Ryman.
Oh,
It
on
was
the
always,
stage?
you know, back in the day, you know, the
Oh,
Opry.
the old Ryman.
Yeah, I've never played the Ryman. I've toured it. I've been there. I
Yeah,
saw a
but you
show
played.
there.
You played the old, the one out there. They moved the Grand Ole Opry different seasons from one place to another. Downtown Ryman to out there. So you've never played the downtown.
I
Ryman?
never did.
Yeah, I don't
Never
know if I-
got the opportunity.
I don't know if I could get our band on there. I don't know if I have enough clout. Somebody has enough clout, but I can't think of anything that I'd want to play. I'm the luckiest guy in the world, y'all, because I played Carnegie Hall, sold out Carnegie Hall 2 nights. I played the Budokan. You know where that is? It's one of the biggest music places in Japan. I've got to play a bunch of places. Some of that was with Kenny Rogers. The Carnegie Hall was just with our band, Sawyer Brown. So I don't know if I could get our band on the Opry. I don't know if I can make some
What about
calls.
Red Rocks in Colorado? Did
You know what?
play that?
There you go, Eddie. I've not played Red Rocks. I have not. That would be something. I don't know that I could make this happen at this late in my career.
Look who showed up.
Who showed up? Hey, it's the Apostle Paul, everybody. There he is. Welcome to you. Hey, welcome to your show.
Your show.
He's the producer of the show.
Title is Bobby Randall.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember how overwhelming it was? You remember from playing bars to that first time you played in a stadium?
Yeah.
The difference of the sound, the excitement. You remember that?
Yeah, because we literally were playing beer joints. And if you all remember back then in the, this would be in the early 80s, I don't remember what year the Urban Cowboy was, but Urban Cowboy, the movie itself, literally changed our world because in my dad's day, you were playing at these rat hole beer joints, but after Urban Cowboy, then all of these bars started coming out. There was a Cheyenne and a Cowboys and a whatever, and so we were playing a lot of those places, which was, dance hall places, but a couple hundred people, mostly people drinking, fighting and dancing and whatever it was. And then we were on Star Search. And so we were on Star Search playing like Hollywood and on national television and all of this stuff in big, oh my God, I'm in Beverly Hills and all that. And then we went back to some rat hole in Oklahoma and played that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because we were going back and forth doing that. So we still did that. Occasionally we would play a fair. Occasionally we would get some of those. But then when I got the call from Kenny Rogers, then we went out, and the first place I played was the Tacoma Dome. I'll never forget it. Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. 25,000 people. And I just walked out there, and it's like, you just like, holy cow. But to me, the key to that is how do you connect with the guy that's up in that top row? That's what you have to do, is you have to be able to connect with 25,000 people. It's not like playing in here. I can sing to everybody in this room. You can just about. It was a different thing. But but it's an amazing feeling when you walk out there and just all of those people, and they knew who we were because we'd been on Star Search. So, you know, that's how we were injured. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of Star Search, you know, the band Sawyer Brown, and people just went crazy. You know, and you walk out there and you're just going, oh my gosh. What about you? Was it George Strait tour?
That was the first stadium, but I remember my first big show with Ty Herndon. I think we opened up for Travis Tritt, and it was in a stadium in California. That's all I remember, but it was just so, I mean, you get that slap back, and it's exciting, but, you know, the sound's different, and it was hard to get used to.
We didn't have in-ears back then.
Yeah,
So
well, we did, but, you know, the sound's so loud, I mean, it doesn't cover it up. I mean, it's hard for that to, you know, isolate enough.
People laugh when I tell you this, but, you know, my hearing's kind of shot, and a lot of my hearing loss was not that we played all that loud, but some of those crowds, some of those people, girls, the people just screamed so loud sometimes it was deafening. You could sometimes it was like unbelievable. It like hurt your ears. So we played pretty loud too, but I went out for a little bit. I played steel for this guy. I played for a guy named Charlie Rich. And he played a couple bigger venues. And then I went out with this young guy named Don King for a little bit, and he never happened. That's kind of how Sawyer Brown got together. But we were his band. And we played with Conway Twitty, T.G. Shepherd, and Ronnie McDowell.
Nice.
And they were playing, I don't know, 10,000 seat places or something like that. But when you go out and play for 20,000, you go out and play for 40,000 people, you know, 40,000 people in a stadium. I played the stadium in Texas with no roof. What's that?
It's the AT&T Stadium. Now, it used to be, I don't remember.
Texas Stadium?
Texas Stadium, it
Yeah.
sure was, yeah.
I played there. There was like 42,000 people there, and I'm just going.
That was our last stop at
Hey, speaking of
George
Texas,
Yes.
Cindy wants to know if anyone in our band has ever played with Little Texas.
with who?
Oh, have we been in the band Little
Oh.
Texas? No, but they're coming here to the Orange Blossom Opry. Little Texas will be here. Chris will have that date for you in just a minute.
It's right here. That's
March
what I was
9th.
looking at when you called me out a while ago.
Yeah, Little Texas will be here.
March 9th.
March 9th. And I don't know if it's the first time they've been here, but it's the first time they've been here since I've been here. And we play one of their songs, God Blessed Texas, which is correct, not bless. It was
Amen.
Blessed Texas. My grammar coming out.
I think I just got a lesson.
Yeah, no. Chris will tell you this. I'm the worst at this. And the reason I am is, y'all, I've got some really weird stuff that just bothers me, and it's probably stupid, and it's got to do with my ADD and everything else that's wrong with me. But when people sing the wrong words to songs, for some reason, it's the worst for me because I've seen so many people do that. Well, once again, the band, when the guitar player's not playing with the other guy, I can't go listen to bad bands play. That's not fun for me. I don't know what you all do for a living. Whatever you did for a living, what did you do for a living? Yes, sir. Pipe fitter? Okay, awesome. So what if you saw a guy that's out doing everything bass-ackwards and messing it all up and doing it crazy and going, oh yeah, that's perfect. You know, I'm going to pretend like I'm a pipe fitter this weekend and go out and do that. So if you saw that, you would go, what in the world? So as a guy that plays and makes and writes music and strives for perfection in that, when I see bands that are playing horrible and doing everything wrong and a guy singing the wrong, it doesn't matter if it's one word, singing the wrong things, to me, that's my deal. So I don't, you know, people say, hey, let's go listen to this band. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I've left churches before. Sorry, left churches before because the band was so bad in there I couldn't listen to it. So that's just one of my little hang-ups. But so Chris will tell you if you're singing the or something the wrong word, I'm going to go, Chris, right word. Anyway.
See, when you were talking about Urban Cowboy Days, starting that, I'm older. I was playing the Roadhouse places with chicken wire, with 10 drunks throwing beer bottles at me.
Yeah, Well, that was big back then, you know, those places. I never played any place with chicken wire, but man, I've been in my share. I was sick. I'm a cancer survivor, and I used to be bigger after in my later Sawyer Brown days. I got all pumped up and all bigged up. And
I thought you meant taller.
yeah, no, I don't need to get any taller. That's what Jim Stafford kept saying. Man, I said, well, dude, anyway. So And what was I going to say? Oh, Jimmy Fortune this weekend was just awesome. We're going to sign out here. Awesome. Jimmy Fortune looked at me. I took my picture. We sat and talked all day. I sat and talked on the bus with Gene Watson for about an hour yesterday. That's the greatest thing about this job, y'all. Just get to hang with these people. And Jimmy Fortune said, man, I'd love to have your hair. I said, man,
Me too.
I wish I could sing like you. So we all want what we can't have, and that goes with women too, because I got the best one in the world. If we all wanted the same thing in life, everybody would be chasing my wife. So we can't have that.
Yeah, don't leave that one.
Yeah. Hey, God bless you all. Thank you all for joining us here at the Orange Blossom Social. We'll see you again next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. God bless all you folks for joining us here live in the audience. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Good afternoon. Good day, wherever you're watching.